Mr. Poilievre, good evening. Welcome on the show.
Good evening to you. How are you doing, sir?
Doing very well. With less than a week for your by-election now, how are things looking in Battle River Crowfoot?
Oh, I love these people. They're so hardworking. They're welcoming. They give you the shirt off their back. They farm, they ranch, they produce oil and gas. They're soldiers at the CFB Wainwright base, and they are the people who feed power and protect our country. I can't wait to be their voice, but I'll tell you something, they're suffering. The high taxes, the raging inflation, crime, out of control, immigration, housing costs, it's just weighing down on these wonderful people, and I want to champion them and all Canadians in Parliament to fight for less tax, a more affordable country, and produce our resource right here in Canada, more oil and gas, logging, farming, so that we can be the richest country on earth. So I'm having a great renewal here in Battle River Crowfoot, and I can't wait to bring their views and all Canadians' views to the floor of the House of Commons.
What will you say to those opponents who are saying that you are a parachute candidate and that you will go back to Ottawa, never to return back to the riding again?
You know, the fact is that this community, this region, has never had so much attention as it does right now because of my candidacy. Look at all the national media has come here, and the farmers, the ranchers, the oil workers, the soldiers, they're all getting more attention than ever before. By having a national leader as their member of Parliament, I'll be able to champion the things that affect their lives. Let me give you an example. The Liberals want to ban gas and diesel cars and trucks. That would shut this region down. You can't drive an electric car in rural Alberta in -40 weather, and it will cost thousands of dollars more for each family. $300 billion to put in all the electrical infrastructure. I'm the only guy fighting it. By fighting for that, against that, I can fight for this community. I'll be fighting for more oil and gas production so that we can create hundreds of thousands of jobs and hundreds of billions of dollars of income for our families, our healthcare, and our schools. I'll be fighting for tough laws to crack down on crime, lock up criminals, throw them behind bars, and give communities across Canada safety. These are the things that people care about in Battle River Crowfoot, and that's what I'll be fighting for in Ottawa on their behalf.
About law and order, you have been calling on the government to declare the Bishnoi gang a terrorist entity. Help our listeners understand what exactly will this do? What additional powers will our enforcement agencies get by doing so?
It will be a crime to fundraise, organize, recruit, or in any way assist the Lawrence Bishnoi gang. This is a gang that extorts, murders, shoots up homes, terrorizes communities. They've caused major crime waves in Surrey, Brampton. I think they've been involved in crime in Northeast Calgary as well. And the Liberals let them in. The Liberals let them stay. Why won't the Liberals deport them out of the country? Because the Liberals have let our immigration system go crazy. And the people who are paying the biggest price are immigrants themselves. The lawful, honest immigrants are paying the price for criminals, gangsters, and terrorists let in by the Liberal government. And I'm saying, let's criminalize this group, deport all of its members, and bring safety and security to our communities.
Now today, Association of Chiefs of Police in Victoria, they also in a way supported the upcoming legislation, the Bill C2, Strong Borders Act. They've in fact called on the government to pass it quickly. How optimistic are you, Mr. Poilievre, about this Bill C2?
I'm conflicted because I want stronger borders. I want stronger laws. This is not a lot better, but it does have some things in it. But on the other side, they want to ban you from large cash transactions. In lots of places in rural Canada, people still like to use cash, and I think that should be legal. If you're doing it honestly and you're paying your taxes, you'll be your freedom to use legal tender. The other thing that the bill does that I don't like is it allows the government to open your mail without a warrant. Now, I have no problem if there is a reasonable grounds for suspicion that there's something illegal or dangerous in a mail package. if the government wants to go to a court and get a warrant, that's fine. Then they can look inside. But what this bill would allow is the government can say, you know what, I want to check what Mr. Smith has in his mail package. I'm just going to open it up and look.
Yeah,
that is an infringement on law-abiding people.
The chief of Victoria Police Department, Del Manick, today said the police do not have the permission, or they do not get a warrant easily to check, to open a parcel which is less than 500 grams in weight. So they want power to do that. What do you have to say about that? They cannot even get a warrant for that.
Well, they should be able to get a warrant if they have reasonable grounds for suspicion. They should be able to get a warrant.
Right.
That's if they suspect that there's a crime happening in your house, on your computer, in your office, before they can go in, they have to get a warrant. So with a piece of mail, it's even easier, because you know what you do with that? You set it aside. You put it in a little room all by itself, and you don't have to worry about it going anywhere. It's not going to grow legs and run away. And you go to the court and you say, here's the evidence we have that this might contain drugs or cash or some other thing that is part of a crime. And the judge will say, okay, there's reasonable grounds, open it up.
Now, you've said that you intend to introduce a bill called Canada's Sovereignty Act. Tell us about it.
Right now, we're not sovereign from foreign powers. For example, we're importing 130,000 barrels of overseas oil every single day from Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, and other places because we can't get a pipeline built across Canada. We have the third biggest supply of oil right beneath our feet. We can't sell our gas overseas for $14, so we have to sell it to the Americans for $3, our natural gas. It takes 19 years to get a mine approved in Canada. We have the biggest supply of uranium, but yet we have a shortage of electricity from nuclear. This is all because government laws block us from getting things built. So I'm saying let's pass a national sovereignty law, which will allow us to become independent and self-reliant from the Americans and the rest of the world by rapidly approving pipelines, mines, LNG plants, logging operations, factories, and more. My bill will eliminate capital gains tax when you reinvest the proceeds here in Canada. So if you sell a business and you reinvest in Canada, you'll pay no capital gains tax. This will cause an economic boom like you've never seen before, and it will bring home the $500 billion of investment that the Liberals have driven to the United States so that we can build in our country. This bill is going to make our country into an economic fortress of wealth and opportunity for our people, and we'll be able to say to the Americans, look, we'd love to trade with you, but we're strong enough to stand on our own 2 feet if you don't treat us fairly.
Mr. Poilievre, all of this sounds very good, but how confident are you that the government or other political parties are going to support you to get this legislation passed in the House? Because you will need that, because you don't have a majority.
That's a very good point. But if you look at what happened when I said we should axe the carbon tax, Mark Carney said, no, we should raise the carbon tax. And for 10 years, he traveled the world saying the carbon tax was the greatest thing since sliced bread. But eventually, my arguments were so strong, and the people were so convinced that he had to completely reverse himself and say, you know what, Pierre Poilievre was right. I'm going to have to get rid of that carbon tax or I'll lose the election. So I don't think that he'll do this willingly, but he'll do it when he sees that I've won the argument on this, just like on the carbon tax. And that's how we're going to get it done. And if he doesn't, then the Canadian people will have a chance to vote for the Sovereignty Act in the next election.
Mr. Poilievre, I've been meaning to ask you this. After Throne's speech, especially, we saw that no opposition party even tried to vote down the government. Nobody wants an election right now, and Liberals are very well aware of it. With you, hopefully, back in Parliament soon, do you see that changing? Are you not giving Liberals a free pass to do anything if you are not ready for an election? Are you ready for an election?
Well, on the one hand, we recognize there was an election in April. It's barely been 100 days.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we give the government a chance to do the right thing. And we'll help them do the right thing. Do something good. We'll say thumbs up. Way to go. Let's get it done. But if they do the wrong thing, then we'll fight against them. We'll make the case to the people, and we'll get a better government elected in the next election. When will the election be? I don't know. I think it will be up to the government to decide if they want to work for the people or they want to work for themselves. If it's the latter, the election will be sooner than you think.
Yeah, the entire election, it seemed, was fought on the promise of securing a deal with the U.S. We did not get a tariff deal with the U.S. by August 1st, as we had expected. In fact, President Trump has increased the so-called fentanyl tariffs to 35%. And today, China also imposed a tariff of almost 76% on our canola seed. If you were the Prime Minister today, how would you have dealt with this tariff war, which Canada now seems to be fighting on two fronts?
And losing on two fronts, I'm afraid to say. I mean, it really is incredible to see how bad Carney has performed. Remember, he told us that he was a master negotiator. Well, what's his record since he became Prime Minister? He's missed his own deadline for a Canada-U.S. deal twice. The U.S. has since doubled existing tariffs on Canada and added new ones while giving Mexico and China extensions. China has now hit us with a new 75% tariff on canola. Mark Carney has also backed down to Trump on the digital service tax and the counter tariffs, getting nothing in return. Mexico has snubbed Canadian ministers who flew down to grovel for a bilateral deal. Europe has agreed to buy $750 billion of U.S. energy and $0 of Canadian energy. The ugly truth is that Mark Carney is losing abroad, and Canadians are paying the price at home.
My question is, what would you have done differently? How would you tackle this?
Well, you want to talk first about the Canada-U.S. deal?
Yes, the entire situation. Canada is now having to fight the tariff war on two fronts. As you said, we are losing. How would you have secured a win?
I would have said to the president, look, you want security, we want free trade. Here's the deal. We will rebuild our military. We will take back defenses of the Arctic to protect against intercontinental missiles, Russian and Chinese submarines. We will secure our borders to keep fentanyl and other dangerous substances out of our continent. And in exchange, you give us free trade. We will open up our commerce both ways so that both countries become richer, stronger, and more secure. That's how I would have negotiated it, and that's how I will negotiate it if Mark Carney has still fumbled and bumbled when the next election happens and the Canadian people choose change.
Mr. Poilievre, in all fairness, don't you think Mark Carney would have said all these things to Donald Trump as it is? Are you also not doing the same thing that Carney did during election? He promised that he is the one to secure the deal, when the reality is we know that Donald Trump, nobody can deal with him.
Well, then why did Carney make that promise?
But are you also not making the same promise now?
No, you asked me how I would deal with it, and I gave you my answer.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Poilievre, anything in closing?
Well, I would just say that my purpose in politics is to bring back what I call the Canadian promise. It's the idea that if you work hard, you get a great life, a nice house, good food, a safe neighborhood to raise your kids. That promise has been broken after a decade of Liberals. They've doubled housing costs, doubled gun crime, doubled our debt, driven up inflation. But don't lose hope. There's better days coming. We're going to fight for our communities, fight for lower costs, for bigger paychecks, to get homes built that people can afford, to lock up violent criminals and restore the safety that Canadians used to take for granted. So better days are coming, and I can't wait to work with all your listeners to make it happen.
Mr. Poilievre, all the very best for your by-election coming Monday, and we look forward to getting some actual work done in the Parliament soon. Thank you.
Absolutely, my friend. Good chatting with you.
Thank you. Pleasure, always.